Okay, so let's talk LinkedIn. When most professionals, think about it, they're kind of stuck back in 2010.
Uh-huh. Still thinking it's just a place to, park your resume.
Exactly. Like a digital filing cabinet, you check maybe, once a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
make sure your job title's right.
Yeah, and they're totally missing the boat.
Totally. Because the sources we're digging into today, they treat LinkedIn very differently, not as some dusty old directory.
No, they see it as a marketing engine, a really high-octane one,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, possibly the most powerful platform out there right now for generating real, qualified business leads.
That's a really critical distinction, and it kind of sets the stage for this whole deep dive. For you listening, if you want to turn that profile into an actual, business asset.
Yeah. Our mission here is to unpack some mechanics.
Yeah.
The source material is clear. This isn't about hoping for leads. It's about engineering them.
Yeah.
Engineering them. I like that. And the core idea we're exploring is this dual thing.
Right.
You need consistency and you need intentionality. Both.
Right, and those two things feed into this fundamental equation that comes up again and again in the sources.
Which is?
Consistency in showing up with valuable stuff, content that actually solves problems, shares real insights, shows results, that builds trust. Trust.
And on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
maybe unlike anywhere else online, that kind of professional trust,
Yeah.
it translates directly into leads, warm leads.
Yeah, qualified leads.
So the goal is moving past just, I don't know, random updates about your morning coffee or whatever.
Definitely. It's about adopting a framework, one built deliberately to turn that trust into, revenue. Okay, so let's unpack that first part, intentionality.
Yeah.
Because you said that's where most people trick up. It really is. They treat LinkedIn like, I don't know, Twitter or Facebook. Just post whatever feels right in the moment.
Yeah, spontaneous. But the sources we looked at are really emphatic here. Success demands strategy. Your content creation has to be tied directly to where your prospect is on their journey. Okay, strategic content. So how do we structure that?
Well, that's where you need to impose some kind of recognizable structure. And the classic marketing funnel, that's your best friend here.
For funnel, right.
But we adapt it specifically for LinkedIn's professional vibe. It's actually pretty simple in structure, but the intention behind each post, that has to be deliberate. It has to align with where the prospect is mentally.
Okay, let's break that down then. For someone listening, what does that three-stage funnel actually look like on LinkedIn? What kind of content goes where?
Absolutely. So we start at the top of the funnel, tofu, right?
Tofu, got it.
The main goal here is broad attraction, awareness. You're trying to pull in people who know they have a general problem, but maybe they don't know the solution yet, or even your solution.
So the content needs to be
purely educational.
Yeah.
You're serving, not selling.
okay, serving, not selling. But what does that look like? How do you attract attention without sounding like you're pitching something?
Good question. The sources point to a few things that work well. Think about myth-busting posts. Challenging common wisdom in your industry.
Ah, okay. Controversial but valuable.
Exactly. Or polls. Questions to spark debate around common pain points. If you're in, say, cybersecurity, a tofu post could be like, is zero trust really achievable for small businesses? Vote yes, no, and tell me why.
Right, you're starting a conversation.
You're establishing expertise by leading the discussion, providing high-value info, giving people a reason to actually follow you.
Okay, so that casts the wide net. People engage, maybe follow you. Now what? You need to move them down the funnel.
Right, that brings us to the middle of the funnel. MOFU.
MOFU.
Here, the goal shifts. It's less about general education, more about showcasing your specific expertise. The audience knows you can talk the talk from your tofu stuff. Here, you prove you can walk the walk. So content types change. We're looking at social proof, process deep dives.
Okay, like case studies. Client wins. Isn't that a bit aggressive for the middle? Could that turn people off if they're still just exploring? That's a really smart question. Because, yeah, being too aggressive kills it on LinkedIn. But think about it. If you did the top of funnel right, they already trust your educational content. So the MOFU content isn't a hard sell. It's designed to validate the expertise you showed earlier. The key is how you frame it.
Framing, how so?
Instead of just shouting, "We got this result," you do a deep dive into the methodology. How did you get that result for client X? Focus on the quantifiable impact, sure, but explain the process. We helped client X cut latency by 40% in 6 weeks. Here's the 3-step process we used.
Yeah, I get it. You're showing the how, providing evidence, but still teaching. You're building credibility by showing the receipts, but educationally.
Precisely. Evidence of competence,
Yeah.
showing the mechanisms behind the success.
Okay, makes sense. And then the final stage, the one everyone's aiming for, bottom of the funnel, BOFU, conversion time. This content has one single goal: drive action. Okay. You've educated them, tofu. You've proven you're capable, mofu. Now you invite them to take that specific next step.
And here we can finally be direct, put in that call to action.
Yes, but still professionally direct, right? This is where you have clear invitations. Maybe offer a specific, valuable, download a checklist, a guide that needs an email.
Lead magnet territory.
Yeah.
Or the gold standard.
Yeah.
Invite them to book a discovery call. The content here should be super specific, maybe a limited time offer or a personalized invite based on a pain point they've engaged with. If they're seeing this BoFu content, they're already warm. They've bought into your earlier stuff. What's really interesting, though, is the sources keep saying this structure, this funnel, doesn't mean you have to post constantly, like 5 times a day.
No, absolutely not.
It's more about making sure every single piece, whatever it is, ties back to that audience in that funnel stage. And crucially, that you're consistent. The sources suggest even just one solid, well-placed post a week can keep you visible, keep that momentum going.
That point about consistency, though, that brings us right to the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
The thing that separates the people actually generating leads from the vast majority who start strong and then just disappear.
Ah, the stumbling block, the burnout factor we talked about earlier.
It's the systemic failure point, honestly. Most users, they start out great. They map the funnel, they write, 2 or 3 really good posts, they feel fired up.
Yeah, the initial enthusiasm.
But consistency is where it falls apart. And the reason, it's just pragmatic. Content creation eats resources, it takes time.
A lot of time. Think about it. Coming with good ideas, relevant ideas, writing them well, editing, figuring out when to post, engaging with comments, which is critical, and analyzing what even worked.
Right, analyzing the results manually to see what resonated and what flopped. It's a huge cumulative time drain.
And for busy professionals, people running sales, running operations, is content debt. It becomes this psychological weight. You wake up, you know you should post. But that pressure, the blank page anxiety, the need to maintain quality, it stops you. You fall behind. You feel kind of defeated.
And the profile just goes silent. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
The data we looked at really backs this up. It suggests something like over 70% of professionals who try a structured manual content plan, they just can't keep it going past maybe 45 days.
Wow, 45 days. That's not long at all.
Yeah.
No. The effort needed to keep pushing that boulder uphill manually is just too high for most people. And that's the core tension. Consistency is absolutely mandatory for trust.
Right.
But trying to achieve it manually, for most busy leaders, it's basically a guaranteed path to burnout.
Okay, so this raises a really important strategic question then. If consistency is non-negotiable, right, can't skip it, and doing it by hand is unsustainable.
Yeah. Then the only thing left to change is removing the manual part. Which brings us to the automation piece of this deep dive. It's not just a nice to have. It sounds like a necessity. Exactly. The sources highlight this clearly. The really high-performing marketers, they decouple consistency from manual effort. They lean hard on advanced automation tools. They recognize their time is better spent elsewhere.
Precisely. Their highest value is in having conversations with the leads, not grinding out the content that attracts those leads in the first place.
And these tools, they're not just basic schedulers anymore, are they? They seem way more sophisticated now.
Oh, far beyond that. They actually get involved in the content generation itself. Okay, so let's use the example from the sources. Blaze Autopilot. How does something like that actually work? How does it generate content that fits the funnel we just talked about?
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating tech. It uses advanced NLP, natural language processing. Basically, the system runs in the background, continuously. Step 1. It scans your existing digital footprint.
Like my website. Blog posts. It's exactly. Website copy, articles you've published, even past LinkedIn posts that did well. It hoovers it all up to build this deep understanding of your specific brand voice, your tone, your technical terms. Okay, so crucial point. It learns to sound like me, not like some generic robot. That tackles the quality concern right away. It does. That's fundamental. Step 2. The system analyzes your target audience and that funnel structure we laid out. Then it starts automatically generating new content.
Wow.
Content that's aligned with your expertise, and it posts it to LinkedIn for you. And importantly, it posts at times the algorithm suggests are optimal for engagement.
And it's not just static, right? You mentioned it feeds back into the funnel.
Yes, critically. It constantly looks at performance. If the system sees, for instance, that your reach is dropping, it might generate more top-of-funnel educational posts to attract new eyes.
Okay.
If it sees engagement is high but conversions are low, it might shift focus to more middle-of-funnel case studies or process explanations to build more proof.
Help me grasp the scale of that shift. It's not just writing stuff. It's actively, dynamically optimizing your content strategy based on real-time results.
That's the absolute key technical breakthrough. There's a built-in feedback loop. It looks at the real metrics, impressions, comments, shares, clicks on your Bofu links,
Uh-huh.
and it figures out what topics, what formats are really hitting home with your specific audience. Then it autonomously refines the next batch of content. It effectively doubles down on what converts, as the sources put it.
Doubles down on what converts.
So the quality actually tends to improve the longer you use it, because the AI is constantly learning the unique dynamics of your audience and what they respond to.
Okay, that completely changes the game. It transforms content strategy from this ongoing, exhausting manual chore into a continuous self-optimizing engine, instead of you battling burnout trying to write something clever every morning.
Yeah. You've got a system refining your strategy while you actually focus on the important part, talking to the leads the system is bringing in.
That's it, exactly. The technology and Blaze Autopilot is the example used. It ensures the hardest part of the equation, that consistency piece, is solved by systems, not sheer willpower.
So you're always visible, always providing value, always building that trust.
Without spending hours staring at a blinking cursor. And the sources even mention, I think in the comments section, there was a link for listeners to try Blaze Autopilot for free, just to see how this kind of tech works in practice.
Right, a practical example.
So if we tie this all together, connect the dots back to the bigger picture.
Yeah, the ultimate lesson. The ultimate lesson from the source material is this. You absolutely can scale your lead pipeline on LinkedIn, but not by just working harder and burning out. No brute force.
No, you do it by being hyper-intentional with your content structure, that funnel, and then strategically letting automation handle the heavy lifting of keeping that quality content flowing consistently. So what, for you listening, what does this practically mean?
Oh.
This shift away from doing it all manually, it's profound. It lets you pivot, right?
Yeah.
You stop being primarily a content creator.
Can you become a relationship manager?
Exactly. You stop sinking time into lower value tasks like scheduling posts or trying to manually crunch analytics.
Right. And instead, you pour all that reclaimed energy into the highest value stuff. Having those meaningful conversations your consistent content has sparked, nurturing those relationships and closing deals. Which is a whole point.
The whole...
Yeah, the defining trait of success here is that perpetual visibility, perpetual value. Leads don't just pop up because you had one great post last month.
No, it's the drip, drip, drip.
It's showing up again and again and again, reinforcing your expertise day in, day out. So the choice you have now isn't really if you need to show up consistently. You do.
The question is how.
It's how. Are you going to choose the path of manual exhaustion? Or are you going to leverage the tech? Let the system run on autopilot even while you sleep and guarantee that you always show up. That's the challenge, ensuring you're always there.